Hey, good evening. This is Chris with myVaporSite.com, and I am shooting this video as a supplement to my written review on myVaporSite.com, and I just want to give a little overview of the iTaste MVP2. Now, this is the second coming of this device, and I was not around as a vapor when the first one came out, and to be honest, I wasn't when the second one came out. I got this few months ago, and I've used it extensively. I've added to my collection since, but I still use it quite often because this is the most perfect device that I own for when I'm vaping at work. It fits perfectly in my front pocket, and that's why I like it so much. So anyway, this is the box it came in. There's two different versions from what I understand. By the way, the retail value, MSRP, is about $70 initially. There's a bunch of sites out there that you can order gear from that you can get them anywhere from $35 to $45 now. There's still a lot of sites selling them for MSRP, but anyway, it's just a nice little plastic box. It's got the details on the back. You know what it's got: ohm reader, variable voltage, variable wattage, whatever. Underneath where this was sitting without the cartomizer on it, or the atomizer, there's a little molded insert. It came with two iClear 16 tanks. It came with this output USB connector, and I'll show you that in a few minutes. And it came with a beauty ring, and I'll show you that, and a user manual and a manual on how to fill it up. I don't have that anymore. Somehow it got lost in the wash, if you will. So anyway, we've got the device here, and I have one of the iClear 16s that came with it. It comes in 4 different colors. I've got this particular color, obviously, the kind of a black slate, and it's got like almost a wood grain finish on it. It's kind of neat looking. From what I understand, this button is much improved from the last one. It was the MVP1 had a flush button, and if you weren't looking at it, it was kind of hard to find unless you just knew where you're at. I've heard some people complain about how you fire it. It's perfect in my hand. I mean, I use this hand right here, bam, perfect. I mean, I love the way it feels in my hand, and like I said, it's perfect in my pocket. If you check out the review, I got a nice little picture of it in my work shirt pocket. So anyway, on the top you have the connector here that has multiple threadings. You've got an outer ring that the beauty ring sits on at the very base of it, and that was another complaint with the earlier devices. Some of the tanks would hang off the edge there. You've got your ego threading right here, and then on the inside you've got your 510 threading. So you pretty much put anything you want on there, and I'll show you that right now. Obviously, you saw with the ego threading, the iClear 16 sits on there, and it's 2.1 ohm coil. Then we can throw the beauty ring on here, or I call it a beauty ring. It could be, I don't know what you want to call it, but anyway. So you slap that on there, and you can throw tanks like your Pro tanks or your Unit tanks, or this size tank here, and 2.1 ohm coil, and it fires just good. The thing I hate about the Pro tanks is you've got to get that base, or you'll end up dumping it in your lap. Alright, so you've also got beauty rings that come with the Pro tanks that fit nicely on there as well. But anyway, so we can take that one off, and we can go with a larger beauty ring for something like a Nautilus or a K-Fun. Let's go with the Nautilus here, and it slides on there just nice. And we got a 1.6 ohm coil in that one, so hear that firing up. Alright, and I also use on this one a lot of Aspire BDCs with number system on there, so I know what's in it. So we can throw a K-Fun on here, and I'll show that you can fire it down. I'm not going to call it sub-ohm, but right at 1 ohm. I build these K-Funs, which I actually use on another device, at 1 ohm, and it's actually not reading it. It was reading it earlier. It won't fire it, but anyway, that's how it looks on there. When I was shooting my photos, which you can go check it out on the website, I was actually able to fire it at 1 ohm, and it was reading 1 ohm. Right now it's not reading it at all, but I have had that problem with K-Funds in the past. But anyway, okay, so we'll just show you the device, and against the size comparison with some other devices. This is the VV version 3. It's a little bit taller, and the VV is a little bit taller, and anyway, I'll just let you judge that for yourself. I like to do this. I used to do this with cell phone reviews. Kind of let the user, whoever's watching the video, to make a decision, kind of know if they've never seen it. They don't know how big my hands are. You know, compare it against something you might have seen before. And here's a, I think this is a 1100 Vision spinner. Not too much bigger. And then we got the Sigelei 20 watt. It's about the same width as the 20 watt, or the Sigelei 20. And obviously it's a lot shorter, and it's a lot lighter too. One thing that I didn't mention, and just an average mech mod, this is the Sue mod. I like black, obviously. So anyway, that's just a little size comparison there. This has got a 2600 milliamp hour battery. It's not user replaceable. There's no way to get into it. I mean, you could use these kind of custom looking hex screws there and probably take it apart and replace it if you really wanted to, but it's not something you pull out an old battery and have to charge it every night. You just put it on your charger right there. I do it every night, and that's it. So 2600 milliamp battery, and like I said, I can go about a day and a half without needing to charge at all. So anyway, on the top, like I showed you, you have your connector with different style threading on it. On this side, you have this mirrored LED display, and I'll walk you through that. Actually, let's go start here. I'm gonna turn this off. You saw that it turned green, that went off. Now when you turn it on, 1, 2, 3. I don't know if you saw that. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna do it one more time. Watch closely. 1, 2, 3. Goes from green to yellow to, or red to yellow to green. And when you fire it, it lights green as well, if you can see that. Kind of hard to see. If the battery level is about half, you'll get a yellow light there, and then when it's red, it means it's about time to charge, and it'll blink red if it's really low. But if you wanted to, you could also check here, and the level of the battery also shows here. You hold down the P and the U, which I believe is supposed to be PV, and the first thing you see is the resistance of the coil in whatever you have on there, which I'll go ahead and throw this back on here for you, and you can see that resistance. Well, there's the puff counter. You got to hold them both down at the same time. There we go. 2.1 and 4.1 volts on my battery. Alright, so you saw that. If you click on P or U, you get the puff counter. That's since the last time you turned it off. So if I turn this off and then I turn it back on, that puff counter says 0. We'll go ahead and hit it one time. Let's go ahead and hit it a second time. Now the puff counter should read 2, and it does. So anyway, I don't use that feature whatsoever. I could care less how many puffs I take a day. But anyway, so now if you want to look at your voltage, click on here and hold it down, and now you can scroll through your voltage. This goes from 3.3 to 5 volts. And there's 5, and then it rolls around to 3.3. Oh, I'll let it go too quick. I like to keep it about 3.7 to 4 volts if I'm going to use that, but I actually, more often than not, if you click on the P button and hold it down, get your power, and you can scroll between 6 and 11 watts, and it runs back around like that. Power 6, 6.5, it goes in 0.5 increments. I usually like you to leave it on 8.5 and let it go, and there you have it. So that's about it on it. On the back, one of the biggest complaints I have, I don't mind this, taste it, love it. I would rather it not have, I would rather it not be there. I'd rather these logos be smaller somewhere down here somewhere. Just keep it cleaner looking, you know, and maybe take the iTaste MVP and put it down here in the bottom right, a little more stealthy, if you will. So as far as the feel of it, it's perfect feeling in my hand. I mean, my hands are a little bit larger than the average hands, I guess, but I mean, it's just, I love it. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it, but anyway, it's pretty lightweight, and like I said, it fits in my pocket really good. Another feature of it, though, that I almost forgot to talk about was on the bottom here, we have your USB charging port, which is right here. That's a micro USB. You can use your cell phone charger, you know, or your, your cell phone charger other than an iPhone. You've got a on-off button here, which opens and closes the output USB here, which is allows you to use this as a backup battery for like a phone or something. So I was just gonna, this would be the first time I've actually done this. I've opened this up and looked at it, but I have not used it. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug this in, and it's a USB on one side, and on the other side it has a multi. It's got a micro USB, a mini USB, and an iPhone, old style iPhone charger. They need to update that next time they come out with one to go with what they're using on the 5 these days, the iPhone 5 and above. So I plug this in, and I'm going to turn this pass-through switch to on. So now I should have the potential to charge anything that uses these 3 connectors with this battery. So I am going to go ahead and plug in my Samsung Galaxy S4 here and see if it takes it. You heard it click on, and if you look up here really close, it is actually charging. So it's definitely working. I don't know how well it will work and how long or how much charge it will put on, you know, like a cell phone, for instance, but personally I think it's kind of a gimmick. I don't see myself ever putting myself in the situation where I have to use this, which I believe the battery life of this is more important than the battery life in this, in my opinion. But I don't see a situation where I would ever want to do this, and not to mention you probably wouldn't want to carry your charger around with you unless you got a box or a bag that you carry your stuff in. I had been carrying this around in my vape box, which you may or may not have seen on the website before. I used to carry it around, but it gets in the way, and I've stopped, and I really don't have any need for that because, well, I've always got an opportunity. But anyway, this is the Innokin iTaste MVP2. Check out the full review on myVaporSite.com. If it's not up when you watch this, it will be soon. And keep your eyes open for more reviews in the future, because I'm here and I'm ready to play. Thanks for watching.